Jingle bells, 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 jingle bells.
What's going on, sports fans out there? Thank y'all for tuning in to the hottest live radio. You're now tuned into the Cul-de-sac Show. I'm your guy, Jay Irvin. We have G Nice and Big Mike. What's going on, fellas? How y'all feeling on this day?
Feeling good. Can't wait for some more football.
Yeah, it's cold. Let's just sit back in our house and enjoy the warm weather and watch these players beat each other up in the cold. So, what are y'all looks for this week? Because this season has been really all over the place now, and I want to jump right into it because it's a lot of what we thought was going on, and it's really out the window now of the truth of what is really happening right now. So how do y'all feel about, just real briefly, G-Nice, what do you think right now?
I'm loving it. It's kind of like the push to playoffs. It's trying to figure out who's going to do whatever it takes to make a playoff run.
Right.
And I think even the people in the wild card have a chance to make some upsets or make some changes in the playoffs when it comes down, because I think everybody that's going to make playoffs this year are a strong team for most part. So I'm looking forward to it.
Now, do you see any upsets for this week to look for, or you think that the ones that really need to win is going to win?
You know what? I think for most part, it's going to be straightforward. I can see the Colts beating the Texans. Texans might be able to get bumped off their block up top. And then I think the Seahawks will definitely secure their part up top of beating the Packers. I think the Packers had a good week last week, but they just can't put it together week from week, and I don't think they'll be able to do it this week.
Seahawks in Green Bay beating? You think that home field advantage is really out the window?
Yeah, Seahawks. Russell Wilson is playing out of his mind. He played hurt in the beginning of the season, and he played well hurt. So I think the notation that he can play hurt and play good. Now he's healthy, he can play elite, in that aspect. So
okay,
he's coming to ball. He's coming to ball.
Big Mike, any contested what G-Nice said?
Nah, man. I mean, you're at the part of the season where some of the teams you're looking at, like Dennis Green said, they were who we thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the shakeout has begun. I mean, down to the playoff run.
Right.
Some of the games you're looking at now are good games, but they don't have any bearing on the playoffs. They don't have any bearing on who's going to be the teams to get there.
Definitely.
So, a couple great games this week. I mean, you're still looking at that Dallas and Giants game.
Yep.
That's going to be a pivotal game.
A lot of trash talk up until the end of who's them boys,
Yeah.
back and forth.
and of course, as fans, people are really starting to get around the fact that is Dallas going to lose another game this season? I mean, in the regular season, and if so, who would be the guys to beat them? And of course, since the Giants beat them in week 1, first up the bat, so that's going to be a very interesting game today.
I see. It's crazy because as much as when you step back and look at the game, it's going to be a great game. I don't see no blowing out. I see points for points down the stretch. A part of me wants to say I see Dallas winning. Because I still got this thought in the back of my head that Dallas is going to, win out the rest of the regular season and lose first or second round in the playoffs.
So are you saying that you don't think that Dallas is going to lose another game in the regular season?
I mean, they can, but it's really up to them. Because if you look at all their games, they haven't been, besides probably one, they haven't been blowing nobody out. So they've actually been getting down to the wire and then winning by a couple points, so so forth. So I don't see, if they lose, they're beating themselves because,
G-Nice, you think Cowboys take an L for the playoffs?
I think they take an L this week or today or however the game plays out tonight. I think this is going to be the only other team for the rest of the season that is going to match up them very well. They play the Buccaneers and the Lions and the Eagles at the end of the season. By the end of the season, you're kind of like resting players. You're kind of letting things go. So, I mean, I don't see any other really team contesting against them. Okay. I think this is going to be the battle to figure out, are we ready for playoffs? And then everything's going to go on a coast from any other team playing against them for the rest of the season.
See, because I'm thinking, if I'm picking today, I'm taking Dallas just out of the fact JPP is not going to be playing.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to make a significant difference.
Even with his injury, he's still phenomenal.
Plus, this late in the season, it looks like the Cowboys still took that opening week loss personal. Mm-hmm. And you're looking at Dak Prescott he's even come out this week and said, you know what, if we had only made one or two more plays.
Yeah.
And I think that they're going to look to try to set that part of it right, because that's that one blemish. I mean, we could really be talking about a 12-0 team right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
we could be talking about a team without a loss had it not been for 2 or 3 plays down the stretch. And I think they're going to take that personally. For me, the trap game for Dallas that I would pencil in as possibly a loss is when they're going to play Detroit.
see, I thought this was to be a trap game. It's a game that the Giants kind of played really bad last Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
They really looked horrible. I don't want to say the Steelers beat on them. It was an aspect of the Giants really beat themselves pretty up. And I think this is a time for the Giants to kind of bounce back and to kind of cement that they're going to be a good playoff team. And the fact that there's so many storylines for the Cowboys to come up and make this win, it might hurt them in that aspect.
And which Eli shows up.
Yeah.
And that's what kills me about the situation of Eli. What part of Eli are you going to get? And that's the only reason why I debate on if they're going to win the game or not is because of Eli. It's not because of the player. The receiver's going to run the routes. The receiver's always going to be open. It's just, does he have time to actually deliver that ball? So that's my curiosity. And plus, little birdie inside. I said the rest of the season, but I'm actually lying. I want them to get ahead and win out till they make it to us. So we can get that win at the end, shake them up a little bit, mess them up going into the playoffs, and then get knocked out.
I'm thinking, and Jerry Jones has come out again this week.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Romo. Yeah. I mean, he's come out. I think Wednesday he came out and had a conversation with reporters, saying that Tony Romo is going to play a significant part in their playoff run. I find that exceptionally hard to believe.
Now, let me ask you something. Not to cut you off, but don't you find that kind of disrespectful?
Absolutely.
If this guy comes in and he wins the whole because my friend Will, he's a super Dallas fan, so he's like, it doesn't matter. Even if Dak Prescott plays sorry, we got Romo, and Romo's going to finish everything out. So you're waiting for him to do one or two bad things to say, hey, Romo, go take us all the way.
You're waiting on him to either struggle or to get hurt. Either one is a bad thing for what inevitably is going to be the future of your franchise.
Now, is that loyalty to a player that you want that might be your franchise quarterback for your team?
No, but who's going to tell Jerry anything different? If you're a Dallas Cowboy, who's going to tell Jerry anything different?
Look, I tried to say this a couple weeks ago. That is the plan. I'm beyond with you.
Yeah.
There is this opportunity, this window for Tony Romo to come back and become the starting quarterback for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I really think it's the Eagles game. Because I really feel like if they win today and they win out the rest of the season, they come to the Eagles games, they're going to bench and they're going to rest players and they're going to bring Romo in.
Oh, I would
and
love
if Romo
that.
comes in, if for you being here, if Romo comes in and plays well,
Right.
throws 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, looks good, the door is open to keep Romo playing.
Well, you know that's not happening, right?
I don't think it's going to happen.
If
But
my defense is healthy.
But I'm just saying, there's an if. There's an if on that stat.
Okay,
There's an
got it,
asterisk
got it.
there. If he plays well,
Right.
Does the ability to to have an argument to have Romo continue to play throughout the playoffs and have Zach be there is definitely there for that happen.
And you know what? To that end, they asked Jason Garrett about that this week. And Jason Garrett, out of his own mouth, said that the best probability of Tony Romo playing would be that Eagles game because they wanted to be able to get him some reps. Now, what was posed was when they were going to take their starters out. I said whether or not it was going to be that they were going to play them up until halftime or they were going to play them through the first quarter. But it doesn't look like by any stretch that from beginning to end, if at all, that Dallas starters is going to play that Eagles game. And if not, Tony Romo is your next man up.
I guarantee you, if Tony Romo plays the last game of the week, we will win that game. I guarantee you. If we don't, do you know how they do the coffee situation? Coffee on me, right?
Yeah.
Coffee on me, right? Mark me on that. Now, Romo will be injured again in that game. You know what I mean? And then they starting with Sanchez and so forth and stuff like that.
I definitely think
I do see him sitting.
I definitely think Dallas, just to kill that window, should play Sanchez and let Romo just sit that one out.
Sit it out,
I don't think they should open that door or open that window for that possibility, that conversation, that talk. Prescott is just playing out of this world. He's really getting downplayed by Ezekiel Elliott, but he is making all the right decisions all at the right time, and he is figuring out the game as the game goes on.
He's still a rookie.
Don't get in his head. Don't start bringing Romo back.
That's
Don't
the
start
only
doing
thing that
anything.
gets me. It's just like he earned this respect
Yeah.
from the first time he stepped foot on the Bills.
He did.
And
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, we're saying all three of us are in agreement here.
Mm-hmm.
But if all of us to a man can figure that out, Jerry Jones
He don't
knows
care.
the same thing. But the thing of it is, like I said, Jerry's in a position to say who's going to argue with whatever I say.
Right.
I mean, so he may be planting the seeds of his own team's demise.
Right.
But he's own caution to the wind and just put that out there to the media. And they've
Right.
eaten that up this week.
Okay. Well, that was definitely a good debate. I can't wait to the end of the season because I would love to see this. I never have bought. I offered to buy people coffee, and I never lost a bet to buy coffee. So we'll see how that goes. But let's jump into something real quick, G Nice. You know what I mean? Your Steelers versus the Bills. Now, in this game for the Steelers and versus your Steelers versus the Bills, y'all 7-5, they 6-6, 500 team. They actually have the odds of y'all losing to them. It's a close percentage. It's 56.1%, compared to y'all 43.5%. What do you feel? Do you actually feel you got this game, or y'all might cough it up?
I don't feel any game this year that we've actually constantly got.
Right.
Unless we were playing Cleveland. That game,
Right.
I really think Dover High
Y'all
has
owned it,
that
yeah.
one. Well, what the Bills bring is what we're struggling for the first time in many years is they have a good running offense. They have great runners, and
McCoy.
we have not been able to stop the run from really any other team we've been playing against.
Right.
So that is our biggest weakness going into this. But I think just like the Giants game, if we get up big and we start throwing the ball and spreading the wealth and really putting the pressure on them by
Capitalizing
halftime,
on turnovers and so forth.
it's a wrap after that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
they're
what
known
it
for
is.
turnovers.
Yeah.
So, from what I seen from the Giants game, and y'all was capitalizing off of that, even if it's a field goal, whatever. Hey, I do see that win.
We just need to step up and stop that run. The Bills definitely don't have a passing game. They have nobody really to throw to. They have nobody really making assertive on that. Sammy Watkins has been hurt all year. Tyrod Taylor has not been able to show off his gun. He's just been running.
Yeah.
If we can go ahead and get him stuffed and go ahead and stuff Sean McCoy, then you know what? We can have a good game. But we really need to be clicking on the offense first and then let our defense come and clean it up. Because once our offense is doing good and putting up points, our defense is kind of running free at people. So it feels good.
Now, what do you think about is D'Angelo Williams? Is he playing? Because it's questionable. Do you see him
I
playing?
don't know. He just came back from surgery and was
Okay.
kind of recovering.
Okay.
I mean, the workload we're putting on Bell, we really don't need him.
Okay.
We're going to need him for the playoffs. I think that's where the biggest thing
So
is.
take your time with him.
Yeah,
whatever
take your
happens
time.
in this game, non-divisional.
Yeah, we're going to
Okay.
need him for the playoffs so that we can go ahead and pound the ball. We can put Bell in, we can do a couple times, then we can bring in D'Angelo Williams and do what we got to do.
Okay. Okay. So, Big Mike, what do you think? How do you feel about this game?
I'll tell you what, one stat sticks out in me. The Buffalo Bills allowing 161 rushing yards per game, 4.7 yards per. That game may be won or lost in the trenches. So I'm saying if Bell comes out and has an effective game, I think that right there will be where it turns.
I think it's a first battle I think I've seen in a long time with the yin and yang and running backs,
Yeah.
and the aspect of McCoy's a dancer, and he dances, east and west, where we have Bell, who's a dancer, but he dances north and south,
yep.
where he just it's not so much trying to run back to go anywhere, it's just kind of hitting the hole and then kind of dancing in it to get the next spot.
True.
So it's a highlight from both running backs.
And that's what I mean. If the Bills are giving up that much as far as rushing yardage, and if you think about it, they weren't facing a upper echelon running back. So I'm saying, so if you throw Bell into that, you're talking about a recipe for him possibly having a great day.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, like I said, it picked the Bills, which doesn't understand because even against the sports betting, it's saying that y'all will win the game. So it's kind of like they really don't know what's going to happen out of this game until it gets down to the fourth quarter.
I think this comes down because we haven't played to our full potential.
Gotcha.
So I think anybody's a little scared to put.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I picked y'all to beat New England, and it was like, what happened?
Yeah, I think NFL.com has Steelers 26, Buffalo 21. So
They have it a
sounds
close game.
statistically
Yeah.
somewhere in the neighborhood of what you think that contest will end up being.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
well, let's go on something real quick before we take a quick break. What do you think about this Titans and Broncos game? I want to say the Titans can win this game, but the Broncos defense is so tough. This is a game that I'm actually debating myself, even if I want to touch when it comes to the sports bet, because I want to say the Titans, but the Titans screwed me one time, like over like 5 tickets. So I'm scared to touch them again.
You know, I'm gonna say this: the Titans look really, really good. Marcus Mariota is playing better. He is definitely a class of rookies that had come in a year ago that are really learning very well of how to be an NFL quarterback.
Okay.
He is showing a difference. And then having DeMarco Murray behind you has been just a highlight for him. But I'm still going to stick with Denver. I feel like I'm going to stick with them for the rest of the season. They are going to be a playoff hurt, meaning as they're going to come in, they're going to hurt people's playoffs. They have a great defense. They're still trying to figure out their offense. I know that's still kind of coming down to it.
Yeah.
But they're at a point where their offense, as soon as it turns on, can end up being a 600-yard offensive team.
That's true. Yeah, they really just need a quarterback. You know?
Yeah.
They
they just need to just kind of gel together.
Definitely.
And this is the last 4 games of the season is when you kind of come together as a team and figure out, are we going to make this run?
Yeah.
Or are we going to go home and we're going to watch this all together?
Yeah, I mean, they still got a good record. They're 8-4, so you know, their schedule don't look bad at all. You know, so I actually see them. What do you think, Big Mike?
Well, I think their biggest takeaway from this game is going to be, can you keep Trevor Siemian upright? Because if they have to turn that offense over to Paxton Lynch, I mean, you're setting yourself up for an L. Now, on the flip side of it, you're talking about that Bronco defense up against Marcus Mariota. The one thing that you will be able to say about Mariota, he does not turn the ball over. I mean, which is a hallmark of the Broncos defense, is being able to get the takeaway.
Right. Yeah.
So, plus, Mariota can run. I mean, so we're looking at the 2 things there as being the pivotal portion of being able to pull that. Is the fact that if Mariota does not make a mistake, if he does the things that are in his wheelhouse to be able to do and do well, you could be looking at a mild upset. I wouldn't call it a tremendous upset if it happens.
Right.
I mean, but Mariota on that stage, I think you don't mention him in the elite quarterbacks or the high up, but he is a very consistent QB.
Definitely. I mean,
he definitely is. I mean, think about him. He's only 23.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 23 in the league. He's balling out. He's having a good season. He doesn't have the quite team to put around the wide receiver staff or anything like that. But I will say, having DeMarco Murray behind him has given him some ease, allowed him to not have the game have to be on his shoulders, and then when it comes down to the game time, to take it and run with it. And he's done it. He's definitely done it. Yeah. I think his number one wide receiver is a tight end, Deontay Walker. I mean, they just don't have all the pieces they need.
Right.
But with what they have, they're destructive. They can win a game.
And see, and of course, he plays in Tennessee. So, majority of NFL fans have not really seen him play consistently.
No.
Right.
They're not
ideal
a team.
team. Yeah.
They're not a team that the NFL tries to build around and put them in marquee games that the world is going to see.
Definitely.
But the thing of it is, like I say, you look at statistically, 1, and then 2, the pedigree of it. I mean, you don't mention him. We're talking a lot about Dak Prescott. We were talking a lot about Carr and the rest. But Mariota's in that conversation.
He is.
I feel he just need a couple more guys to help him out. You know, I mean, Murray's playing great for him. I mean, he did take a vacation on us.
Who would have saw that
came?
coming?
Yeah,
But I'm saying you're 6-6 and you only throw 8 interceptions. I mean, right then there, that just shows that you're 6-6 not because of the quarterback situation.
No,
You're 6-6.
yeah, it's other players. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I said I expected, when I seen how they started off the first couple weeks, I expected to see more wins. So, you know, give or take, you give them 2 games back, you know, they actually would have had a better record. But
it's funny that like I said, we put a lot of conversation around the Cowboys and their rookies.
Right.
But it's funny that you look at a Marcus Mariota and a Jameis Winston. You know, when both of them came into the league, they came into the league with that pedigree.
Right.
But they're playing for teams that you don't see consistently week to week on television.
Right.
So people really don't get a chance to really see them in their skill set. And I think that's one of the things that gets lost in the Mariota conversation, because in reality, if you look at him as opposed to a lot of the other QBs that you have active in the NFL right now, he matches up very favorably.
He does. And you know what? And like I said, the biggest part of this game is going to be, to me, it's Denver's offense. Can Denver's offense put up enough points?
Yeah.
I mean,
Defense can
you
only
look at
defend
it,
so much.
you lost your running back, and now you have Devin Booker as your rookie running back running for you guys.
Correct.
You know, you're matching him up against Murray, who's already 1,000-yard back. You know, he's like third best back in the league.
Yes.
And then your best wide receiver now is Emmanuel Sanders for Denver, who, don't get me wrong, former Steeler player, he's a really good person, but I think Demaryius Thomas should be your number one wide receiver.
Absolutely.
And Demaryius Thomas has kind of faded off and kind of ran away for a little while. You just don't have him where you need to be. If their offense get clicking, they are going to ruin people's seasons.
Yeah,
That's
see,
what they are.
I agree with G Nice here. My thing with that is, I'm thinking that the Broncos have to be able to put up 21 points.
Yes.
21 points is not undoable for any NFL team. It should not be for any NFL professional franchise.
Right.
But they're going to need to be able to put up 21 points.
Because they have a defense that can hold 21 points.
Yeah, and you got to think, that gives the defense enough cushion to say we can kind of play all out without having to worry about one play being the turning point of the game.
All right.
Definitely. So, I mean, who do you pick? You pick Denver?
I got Denver. I definitely like the 21-14 spread in that one.
Yeah, I'm taking mildly. I'm taking Denver. I would not be surprised if it's an upset, but I would take Denver. Like I said, if they can score over 21 points, I'd take them with the Denver.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. So, I would say Denver with the points. So I am going to go with Denver. But I will slide Tennessee in there on the super teaser. How do y'all feel about this Eagles game? This Eagles and Redskins. I'm gonna let y'all talk first because you already know how I feel. I feel we're gonna win every week, and we just keep disappointing ourselves over and over and over again. So, what do you think? What do you think, Gina?
I'm gonna make them really happy. I'm really think the Eagles are gonna come out and get this game. They're gonna steal this one.
They need it.
I think
We got one.
I think outside of being in need, I think is also a trap game. I think the Eagles definitely got an aspect where they were. They played a really bad game last week. They definitely got into some situations and not able to pull themselves back up. And they kind of think about it. They look at themselves and be like, that's not who we are. We don't play like we did against Cincinnati. That's just not our game. And they're going to come in here and play against the Redskins. They're playing down in Washington, and they're going to make a pulling up.
Tell him, G-Nice. Tell him, G-Nice. I'm feeling like DMX. I'm like his hype man. Get him.
The Eagles need Wentz to have a good day. We were all on the Wentz bandwagon at the beginning of the season.
I don't like where this is going.
It's kind of faltered down the stretch. But I think going forward, you're looking at a team that has a great probability of not making the playoffs this season.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, true.
But you're looking at what they're going to be able to build on for next year.
Yeah, I mean,
part of that is allowing Wentz's psyche to get back right.
Right.
Allowing him to get back on the even kill. I don't think he'll get a total get right moment against the Redskins, but it'll be enough this week.
Well, I mean, I say that we're going to win because I geared up to this game. I didn't expect us to lose against Cincinnati. That was the big hurting situation. Then to find out that some of the players actually admitted that they didn't play their hardest. It's kind of like a slap in the face because, excuse me, we had to win this game and went out, and we guaranteed to make the playoffs because we have a Redskins team that's at the bottom next to us that has a tie. So that kind of hurt me. I mean, I see Big Mike over here with this, this blue hat, so I'm thinking like he's feeling the Cowboys today, so he's waiting for that 8 o'clock game.
But you know what? But I do keep it funky.
Yeah, no, you keep it 100. I respect that.
The funny thing is, at the beginning of the season, people were predicting that the Eagles were going to be 8-8.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, do you have a connotation? When I said being an Eagles supporter, is 8-8 a good record for y'all this year?
No, I see us getting at least 9 wins. I still see us winning now, but it's just the concrete that would have helped the situation was beating Cincinnati. Cincinnati basically gave us the game, and you've seen how, even just on the 5-yard line, they're trying to run the ball in. You can see the safety just like stand there and just let him come past the line. Like, he could have rushed him, knocked the ball out, whatever, because he was just eager to get across the line. So I saw so many things in that game where I really wanted to turn the game off, but I am a diehard fan, so I kept it on. So, kind of felt like G Nice that one day when he was watching the game and wanted to turn it off. But, I'm feeling it because I was talking a lot of trash behind the scenes, and now my team is really not playing up to par. And
I'm
we didn't spend no money
this week.
Yeah, I think that we got it. We're getting the points anyway, so yeah, give them
But
up.
I think the best of what you've seen from the Eagles on both sides of the ball was against Atlanta.
Yeah.
I mean, and they still have that to live up to see if they can do it consistently.
But why didn't we keep those plays? That's the
I
crazy
think the biggest thing is the fact that Washington doesn't have an identity this year. Their identity is Jordan Reed. And with him being an aspect of being in and out of being hurt, and it's just going to be a game where the Eagles can definitely capitalize on coming in and getting a win, stealing one in their area. And I definitely think with all the criticism of them not playing hard and getting, I hate to use the word spanked, but kind of beat up on against the Bengals, I think they're going to come in here and kind of put something to it. I think they owe the city of Philadelphia to come in here and get a good win out of this. Now, I'm going to say 8-8 for the rest of the season. I'm not jumping on that bandwagon as well because it's going to be a hard last of the season. You guys playing the Ravens, Giants, and Cowboys. It's going to be a tough. It's going to the last 4 games is going to dictate how much heart your players have and who you're going to get rid of for next year to bring in some players with heart because you guys got to end that season with heart. This just so you guys can feel good inside.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the odds of what they see us winning the game anyway. Percentage is 57.9% to 41.7% Redskins. So our defense should be able to contain it. And we have Jordan Reed, and Jordan Reed is. We have the play against Jordan Reed, and he's questionable.
Yeah.
He's still banged up. Deshaun Jackson is still banged up. So this is another game that's given to us, and it's up to us to actually win.
Yeah.
In the division game, the Bengals wasn't a division game, so this is a division game. So it makes sense, So we will see,
And I mean, you're really talking about 2 teams in the same division that really have the same type of issues.
True.
I mean, because, like I said, the NFC East is getting better again. So which is great for the NFL.
Which is
It
great.
was the glamour division in the NFL.
Last year was horrible.
However, if you're on the bottom rung of that, you really have to find out what you need to cash in to be competitive.
Yeah, it's the same thing as my division last year or the year before with Bengals, Steelers, and Ravens being the top dogs and not just their division, but in the whole AFC, and one of them having to be left out. The benefit of that aspect is you have, people are now paying attention to your division. Players are wanting to come play for you. You're now being hyped not only by your local town, but they want to put you on primetime games and situations. It brings some recognition back to your division.
Right.
And that's a good thing. Next year, you can only imagine what that division with the Eagles, Giants, and Dallas and all them is going to be like because they're already all pretty good, decent teams.
Yeah.
It's only going up from here.
And that's what I'm saying.
And
So you
the comp is
definitely don't
looking
want to be
good.
the cellar dweller.
No.
And what you're looking at, I think the last few years, the Eagles have pretty well run that division.
Right.
I don't think at the beginning of the season anybody predicted that Dallas was going to end up with the record that they're.
No. I think
Come out
predictions
with.
was Washington and New York was the 2 teams.
Yeah.
But you have to think, what can Washington do to get themselves marginally better, to keep themselves out of the cellar in a division where everyone is getting better?
Yeah, and what the scary aspect is you got Dallas and Eagles have 2 rookie quarterbacks that as a rookie look as good as these other quarterbacks 3-4 years into it.
True.
So if their development comes really good with their team, that's a scary aspect because that means it's one piece of the puzzle, one of the biggest pieces of the puzzles you no longer have to worry about when it comes down on draft time.
Well, see, and then
and that's where most of your money actually goes into because that first pick, it got to make sure it's the right quarterback. So this helps because
we're not
we
even
can
talking
get started.
about the Giants.
Nope.
In this mix, and if you really look at the Giants, their wide receiver core, really, all the way across in the NFC East, they probably have the best wideout core.
They probably have,
including the Cowboys.
They probably have one of the best wide receiver core. Period.
Yes.
Because some other teams have great wide receiver cores, but
Name
they're
one
hurt
and all that,
or
yes.
they're not allowed to play this year.
Or
Like
carrying
that's
somebody else's weight.
that's the Steelers aspect.
Yeah.
I think the Steelers hold the best wide receiver core, but with Bryant being out and being suspended, I can't say anything. He's not playing.
Right.
the Giants definitely have the best wide receiver core because they all are X factors. They can
they-
get the ball
top
and
three,
make
yeah.
yards afterwards, but they just don't have I'm going to always go back to it. They don't have a running game to kind of take that away from that aspect. I'd rather turn around and have Ezekiel behind me because they're going to put 8 in the box to kind of match his skill. Put 1-on-1 against my wide receiver. Put 1-on-1. Go ahead. Find my star wide receiver and put 1-on-1 against him. He burning you every time. And that's the reason why I feel like Des Bryant looks a lot better this year because you're putting him in 1-on-1 coverage. You're making that corner have to match up on against. You can't put his own coverage against that because Ezekiel can go off at any point in time.
And that's what I mean. And the thing with the Giants, you got to look at this. The Giants have never gelled on both sides at one time.
No.
I mean, they went out, they spent a lot of money on that defense.
Right.
It really hasn't turned great dividends for them yet.
Because they didn't invest in the backfield. You know, if they
Right.
would invest in the backfield, it would
Right.
have been better.
But you start to see that defense shoring up a little bit.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
I said, losing Pierre-Paul
Yes.
is going to hurt them down
Big
the stretch
factor.
of playoffs.
Yes, sure
But
indeed.
coming into like
He's out for the
again,
season, the rest of the season?
If he makes it back, it would be late, and
Okay.
I think the Giants would be out of it by then.
Okay.
But you got to
I
think
didn't
coming
catch
into
that.
next season. Again, I agree with G Nice. Running back, and if you can get Eli Manning to not do too much,
Yes.
the Giants are going to be hard to deal with.
Yes.
I mean,
see that. I see that,
they've got what it takes to be in that conversation. Coming down as far as division leaders.
They definitely do. I mean, the whole division just has another boost up for next year.
Yeah.
They just have some missing pieces. Eagles have missing pieces that all they put together, they can be a wrecking force. And it's going to be kind of hard next year because they definitely could be a all 5 plus 500 division.
Yeah.
And somebody's not making it next year.
And
Yeah.
I think
Sure.
Dallas and the Giants is going to be a renewed rivalry.
Yeah.
And I think coming into next season, they're going to be more on equal terms than they are probably even going to be this season.
Yeah. So that was actually a good debate. I love having a debate about my division and how we look better this year than last season. So let's go ahead and take a break, and then we're gonna come back and talk on some teams. Thank y'all for tuning in onto the hottest live radio on the Cul-de-sac show. In and out.
Yes, sir.
You're listening to the hottest live radio representing Dover, Delaware, Tri-State, Delmarva, and the Eastern Shore.
Welcome back, sports fans. You're tuned into the hottest live radio. This is the Cul-de-sac show. I'm your partner, Jay Irvin. I got my guy, Big Mike here.
What up?
G Nice had to go get prepared for his game today. He wanted to make sure he can sit down and enjoy his time of watching his Steelers possibly get this win over the Bills. So we wound up and let him get ahead and go.
G Nice on the G5.
Exactly, he jumped on the G5. So let's get into a game real quick that we talked about off the air. This Raiders and the Chiefs game. It had so much media coverage. And this history goes back so far. I mean, it was even so bad that, fans got into a fight in the stadiums. We saw that online and everything. The Chiefs needed this win, and they pulled through and got the win. Oakland, which I thought that was going to win because, Oakland is that team. It still didn't hurt them. How do you feel about this game?
Now, the loss, I don't think severely hurt them.
Right.
You have to put a little bit of asterisk beside because Carr's hurt. He's playing hurt. Doesn't give him an excuse.
Right.
But they were still in the game. I mean, they didn't get blown out.
Right.
But that game was for not supremacy of the AFC, but it was for who was the solid number 2 team in the AFC.
Right.
And even though KC won that game, in a lot of people's minds, Oakland is still the number
1 team. Yeah.
in the AFC behind
Yeah.
the Patriots.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to say as far as the AFC championship game, would a more entertaining matchup be the Patriots and KC or the Patriots and the Raiders? I'm taking the Patriots and the Raiders.
I would take the Raiders too because I feel like Bill Belichick has Andy Reid's number 1 number. You know what I mean? They've been played around each other so much and they know each other. I think that he got him. Oakland has this this new we're back feel. We ain't taking no prisoners. Even if we get a loss, we're gonna come back and we're gonna you're gonna regret that we lost to that last team because we're gonna take it out on everybody else.
Yeah, the Raiders are, like I said again, much like the Dallas Cowboys, they surprised a lot of people this year.
Right.
However, they do have all the pieces to be a competitive team and to challenge a team like the Patriots, who have been running roughshod through the AFC for years now.
Right.
I mean, and not only is it the fact that offensively they look great,
Yep.
they also have Khalil Mack, and Khalil Mack has been playing lights out on the defensive end.
True.
He's literally won a couple of games for them. So going forward, that Kansas City loss, it doesn't hurt them.
No.
You know what I mean? But KC needed that way.
Yeah. To build any momentum or life back in the game. Yeah.
Well, and see, and then on the flip side with KC has a very stringent, hard defense.
True.
But when you're talking about coming down into the playoffs, of course, defense wins championships.
Yes.
But you still have to be
gotta
able to
get
put
there.
a
Yes.
reasonable amount of points on the board.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you got to be able to make it with your offense. You know? Yep.
Yeah, I mean, because you got to think, most playoff games, you're not going to have those, 12 to 10 games, those 14 to 8 games, whatever else.
Right.
You're going to have an offense, and I would always say has to be able to put up, between 18 to 21 points a game.
True.
I mean, coming down the stretch in the playoffs. And I don't know if Kansas City is going to have the weaponry to be able to do that consistently when you're down to a one-and-done situation. Like
Now-
I said, I give kudos to their defense, but I'm not really sold on them offensively.
Okay, no. So let's look at the playoff picture for right now.
Mm-hmm.
The playoff picture, you have New England as far as the AFC in the number 1 seed, and then we have Kansas City in the 2nd seed.
Yeah.
Now Oakland, they just lost to Kansas City, which Kansas City needed that. Oakland is the 5 seed.
Yeah.
So by Oakland being the 5 seed, I mean, do you see Kansas City holding that slot or actually coming down within these past couple weeks we have left?
Well, I mean, you're looking at right now, because of that loss this past week, that the Raiders actually dropped into a wild card scenario.
Yes.
So,
Sure.
which I don't think really hurts them. I mean, they have proven that they can take that show on the road.
Yes.
Which, if they stay in that slot, they're going to have to.
Yeah.
However, like I said, when you're looking at the AFC, you're talking about your division leaders being the Patriots, Chiefs, Ravens, and the lowly Texans.
Yep.
So-
And also Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I said, right now, Denver would be considered a wild card team.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, my
But-
fault.
What you're looking at is, of the teams that you have mentioned, which team do you think is more built to be able to win games on the road? And I would think of the ones that you have, it would be the Raiders still.
Yeah.
Broncos,
Yeah.
for me, Broncos need home field advantage.
True.
I mean, as much as possible.
True.
Patriots are the Patriots, enough said. Chiefs going to struggle on offense. Like I said, great defense.
Yep.
My 2 things that I have that are more of an issue as far as the AFC is concerned are the Ravens and the Texans.
Yeah.
So I'm saying,
Yeah, because it's kind of like an on and off situation. The Ravens, they shocked me. 7-5. You're in the wild card. That's great. But they're another team that we didn't pay attention to on even making it, and you're actually in the wild card. So we salute you for that. But we're not saying that you can take it all the way.
well, the Ravens benefited by the fact that the Steelers have stumbled.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, as much as they have this season.
Yes.
I think anybody would have predicted that the Steelers would have won that division clearly, but they haven't lived up to that expectation consistently. They've had flashes of brilliance.
Definitely.
I mean, and like I said, that offense, when it's clicking on all cylinders, you're talking about one of the top 3 offenses in the league. But they've faltered in some games they shouldn't have, which has allowed the Ravens to slide in as your division leaders. Now, do I really believe in the Ravens as far as playoff run?
Yeah.
Not at all.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But it's that age-old argument, and we've had that argument a couple times here.
Yeah.
About the value of being a division winner as opposed to the value of being the best team.
That's true.
Because I said, you're talking about the Ravens and the Texans right now being division leaders, but you're looking at teams that are in the hunt. It would be the Dolphins,
Yeah, I was going to go into that. Yep.
the Steelers.
Yep.
Then you get down to the kind of your bottom dwellers of the Colts, Bills, Titans, and Chargers. So what you're saying is, as it stands right now, both the Dolphins and the Steelers would be on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
By benefit of the fact that you have the Texans and the Raiders who are winning their division. You know,
Which,
as a
as you
football
spoke
fan,
on that, yeah, it's a funny situation, yeah. Especially
You're
with a
not
better
gonna
record.
and that's what I'm saying. You're
Yeah.
not going to have 2 of your best teams or
Right.
better teams
Right.
that are even going to have an opportunity to make the playoffs, because you have 2 teams. The Texans just play in a division that sucks. Just call it what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, any team that you're saying has a 6-6
record,
and still
tied,
your
yeah.
division leader,
Yeah.
that doesn't speak to how well your team
True
is
indeed.
playing.
True
It speaks
indeed.
to the fact that your division sucks.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, but by the same thing, you've had the Dolphins who have won some great games this year and have been competitive in games this year. So I'm saying, if you're talking about value of football as far as a fan is concerned, I'd prefer to see the Dolphins and the Steelers make the playoffs by virtue of record alone, as opposed to having to give those seats up to two teams who are winning the division, but because the divisions are weak.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, so we actually see that we're going to have to wait this out as far as the AFC. We see the concrete of New England being there and Oakland being there. But as far as these other three, we'll see as the weeks progress to see who's winning, who's losing, to actually solidify their spot.
Yeah, I think everybody is kind of rallying around the fact that you may end up with a Patriots and Raiders AFC Championship game.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, and as far as the other teams, of course, we'd like to say the Steelers, but I don't think this is going to be the Steelers here.
Right.
I mean, they've been too inconsistent, and even if they made the playoffs, I don't think that their defense will hold up enough to allow them to get to a championship game.
Okay, I mean, being so we spoke on that AFC, real quick, who do you think is going to win today with the Texans and the Colts? We know that they're both two teams that shouldn't be in there. They both have 6-6, but somebody has to win the division. So who do you see winning this game? In Indiana at home, Texans, they're still trying to survive with their offense, and they invested in a quarterback that ain't been really playing up to par.
Yeah, the Brock Osweiler experience has been horrendous to say the least.
True.
But again, like I said, I think he's benefited and gotten the benefit of the doubt because, like I said, the division is horrible.
Right.
I mean, you're talking about in a strong division, they're the cellar dwellers, not the division leaders.
So do you think that only way that will make him look good out of the situation is the Texans make the playoffs?
No, even if the Texans make the playoffs, Osweiler is one. Like I said, you got to classify that as a bust.
Okay.
I mean, from the splash that you made of pulling him from Denver and bringing him to the Texans, he was supposed to be the thing that on the offensive side balanced out them having a J.J. Watt on the defensive side.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
He hasn't lived up to that expectation.
Okay.
And you also got to think there's not a lot of an excuse there because he's had serviceable wide receivers.
Right.
He's missed a lot of throws that he was supposed to make.
Yes.
Yes.
Back. Throwing behind the players and all that.
I don't think that his body of work, even when they pulled him from Denver, I don't think his body of work really spoke to the fact that he was deserving of being a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, you took him because for a couple games he was hot.
Yeah.
And now you got to live with it.
Yeah, because everybody adapted to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to live with it, and you got to think, what does he do great? I mean, you can't think of any one thing that you say, hey, well, Brock Osweiler does this. There's nothing that he does great.
Right.
There's nothing that he does that you say, hey, this is the reason why we went out and got this guy.
Right. So we say that, that whole division is average. Brock is also average. So, moving on from there.
Yeah. But as far as the game is concerned, I'm actually going to take the Colts in the game.
Take the Colts. Okay.
The Colts look like they are slowly turning the corner.
I mean, Andrew Luck feels though that he's back, 100. So
yeah, I mean they're like an iceberg.
Yeah,
I mean they'll turn, but they're not going to turn quickly. I mean,
stats wise, matchup prediction, they're predicting the Colts to win. I mean, 65.7% compared to the Texans 34.1%. So I mean, the odds are there. Even with them having some key guys out, they're still saying that they're going to win. I mean,
so am I.
Even on the point spread, I mean, they're Vegas is giving the Texans 7 points. That says a lot for a Colts team that's more comfortable with kicking a field goal for 3 points instead of scoring a touchdown.
Well, but the Texans on defense depended so much on J.J. Watt.
Yes,
and you see that this year. I mean, that's one of the detriments of having a truly great future Hall of Fame player on defense.
Definitely.
And he's been consistent. I mean, but he hasn't been able to pull through this injury this season.
Right.
So you really got a chance to see what they're like without him. Now, of course, they had Clowney.
Yeah.
And Clowney was supposed to be your other bookend to that. And that hasn't materialized either.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you have a defense who is not going to get better at least until next season.
Mm-hmm.
You have a quarterback that may not get any better than what he is right now.
Right.
So that is a recipe for a 6-16, which is what they are. I mean, you like Dennis Green. They were who we thought they were.
Right. Yeah. I mean, let's get off this coin of a toss win, basically.
Yeah, the loser win. No, the loser bandwagon.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's go to a questionable game here.
Okay.
And the reason why it's questionable because it's division.
Okay.
And these teams still have an opportunity to slide in probably through the back door wild card situation. Let's speak on the New Orleans Saints and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
Now, they are predicting this game to be very close. 51% is given to New Orleans, and 49.5% is given to Tampa Bay. So they're saying it's actually going to be close. I mean, the Vegas spread is only 3 points. Do you see how high-powered, or do you see playing catch-up and winning by a field goal?
You're probably going to be looking at more of a shootout in this game.
Okay.
Unbeknownst to a lot of people, because once again, the Buccaneers are a team that's now just starting to get a little bit of national spotlight. You're starting to see them a little bit on the 4 o'clock game
True indeed.
and the rest.
Yes.
But Jameis Winston is living up to the hype.
Yes.
So, I mean, in all ways possible. Plus, you see that he is solidly the leader of this team.
Yes.
So, I mean, so they're going to go where Jameis goes. And Jameis has been playing great.
Yeah. And also, I mean, sidebar real quick. I mean, we let a guy go before his charges even came in, Josh Huff, and they picked him up with no problem. And Josh Huff is doing well over there. So salute to Josh Huff over there to going somewhere and making it happen. You know?
Absolutely.
So
I said, and on the flip side with the Saints have shown that they can still score points.
Yes. Yeah.
But it looks like they have an inability to be able to put it all together.
Yeah.
At some point, and that point is going to come sooner than later, you're going to be looking at what the Saints' future is going to be. I mean, because they're going to have to start addressing what their future is going to be beyond Drew Brees.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're going to have to start looking at what their future is going to be, possibly beyond Sean Payton.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem like they want to grow, and they really need to wake up after this season to make some major adjustments, or they're going to keep repeating the same steps.
Yeah, the Saints are the poster children for what was isn't what is. So I mean, the last few years, they have had arguably one of the, as we used to say about the Rams, one of the greatest shows on turf.
Yeah.
I mean, they could light up a scoreboard, and they've shown that they can still do that.
They still do it,
in certain
missing
games.
some key features.
However, if you're talking about, teams that you think are Super Bowl capable, the Saints don't get mentioned in that conversation.
Now let me ask you something real quick. Do you feel as though the year the Saints won the Super Bowl, they earned it or they slid in?
A little bit of both.
Right.
I mean, you got to think, you earned it because you had the record to get there at all.
Right.
However, in most seasons you have to have a couple things go right and break for you the right way in order for you to.
So this season was average then. Yeah.
To even get to the Super Bowl.
Right.
But they weren't a juggernaut.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And when you're talking about juggernaut, you're talking about okay, we'll say like the Patriots were when they rolled into the Super Bowl at what were they, 15-0, 16-0?
Yeah.
The juggernaut.
Yeah, you knew for a fact that they was going.
That you were looking at something that you may not see.
Yeah.
Again.
Everybody was
and
getting
even
it.
though they lost that game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You look at it the fact that they steamroll cats coming in, coming into a Super Bowl. And every Super Bowl you look at, there's a team that just is playing great ball at the right time.
Right.
So I'm saying, and for that time, for the Saints, they just happened to be that team. I mean, they were playing well enough to get there.
So do you think you see the Saints making the playoffs?
No.
Or just okay.
No,
So we're
you
gonna
gotta
ask
look
that
at
out.
right now. The Saints are 5-7.
Yes.
So for them to be able to make it, you would have to have either the Giants, totally fall off the side of the building,
Right.
or the Bucks to fall off the side of the building.
And then you look at the rest of the week. They. I don't really know if I can see them closing out.
Well, see, and the thing of it is, the Saints would still be behind the Skins, the Vikings, and the Packers.
Yes.
So they would need a lot of help to even be able to make it into the playoffs.
So we scratch them off the board.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, you're looking at this time of year, you're looking at teams still playing, but you're really playing for next year.
Definitely.
I mean, you're playing to see what you've got and what you need to upgrade for next season. So I'm saying, and I think the Saints are squarely one of those teams. And like I said, their future is questionable.
True.
I mean, it's really questionable. And like I said, it's going to start with the coach.
Right.
And if Sean Payton's gone, you can best believe that Breeze will be out the door right now.
Yeah, because he put up a big fuss just to keep him there. You know, he didn't really feel comfortable. Even when Sean Payton was out, he didn't feel comfortable playing with somebody else.
That would be like Brady playing without Belichick.
Correct. Yeah. So, speaking of that, we spoke on the Ravens earlier. You know, how do you feel about this Monday night game of the Ravens? Usually these games I stay away from because it's Monday.
Yeah.
It's just a great game just to watch. But the Ravens versus the Patriots. Do you think hands down the Patriots just going to take this game at home? Or if the Ravens going to put up a fight, it might cover a spread or something?
Well, a couple things on the Patriot front. One, as much as Tom Brady says that he doesn't talk about it, doesn't worry about the MVP, Tom Brady wants the MVP.
He wants it every year.
And you would think that coming off of that 4-game suspension, he definitely wants the MVP this year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, Tom Brady is like your Kanye West of NFL.
Yeah,
You know
well,
what I mean?
you got to think.
Quietly.
He had the opportunity to not play last week.
Right.
You know, and no one could have argued the fact that, hey, he's injured.
Yeah.
But he played.
He played well, yeah.
And now you're turning right back around and saying, you got Gronkowski out.
Yeah.
So as much as that hurts him, I think it still is a motivating factor for Tom Brady to say that I can go out here and go win with anything.
Yeah,
You know what I
definitely.
mean? And, of course, the Patriot way being next man up.
I mean, in that game, I mean, the odds are saying 79.1% giving to New England. You know, the other 20.7%.
Yeah, you can't go against
Yeah,
that right
like,
now.
you know, hands down. I mean, I don't see if the Ravens win this game, it would probably be that year. Nope, I can't even say it. Even the year
Well,
when we played them. So
and I'll say this, as far as Raven fans are concerned, I've been wrong a few times with the Ravens. So I'm saying I've never gone against the Ravens per se, but I've always said for the Ravens to be able to win and win the way that they are best at, it has to be an ugly game.
right.
The Ravens are tremendous at winning ugly, gritty games that turn on a turnover or last minute field goal, something else.
Right.
You're not going to have that more than likely with the Patriots.
So
I'm saying you're going to have to score more points, and even being a Ravens fan, where the points going to come from?
I don't see it. I mean, Ravens, and most people would say, ever since Ray Lewis, this is a situation that they would never be the same. But I just don't. I'm happy for the Ravens that they made it this far, but I don't see them closing out this season and really getting some out of it because they still got a lot of changes they need to make.
The Ravens benefited from the Steelers not living up to the expectation.
Yes,
So I'm saying, because we would be having a total different conversation had the Steelers not gone to Philly
Yes.
and taken that L.
Yes.
And had they, like I said, played up to that Killer B reputation that they had at the beginning of the season. And like I said, they still have the players there.
Definitely.
But you're looking at the fact that they kind of fell apart on the defensive end, which allowed the Ravens to kind of slide in. Plus the fact that the Bengals slid off the side of the building this season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And,
So
and,
they
I
had things
expected the
break their
Bengals.
way.
Yeah,
It
I was
doesn't mean
shocked.
that the Ravens were great.
Yeah.
It just means that they benefited by the other team's faltering.
Definitely. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to cover the Bengals this week. I mean, they got that one on us, so who cares? But they surprised me this year. I really think that the coach is on the chopping block.
The Bengals?
Yes.
Yeah, well, you got to think. Week one, when we first saw this week one, the prognosticators were saying that the Super Bowl this year would have been the Bengals and the Cardinals.
Wow.
Both teams that you're saying are clearly circling the bowl.
That's
right
at
now.
the bottom.
Yeah.
I mean, they got average, below average records, but they look bad on the field.
Well, and if you are a Bengals fan, I don't know a lot, but if you are a Bengals fan out there, you actually have to be a little concerned this week as to whether or not the Browns are going to, get that one win. I mean, because like
They still do good for one.
Your team might be the team to give that one up.
True indeed. Yeah.
So like I
Yeah.
said, who would have considered that based on what we thought the Bengals were going to be at the beginning of the season?
Definitely. So I mean, what are you thinking about this playoff picture? Give me a rundown on AFC and NFC, and tell me what you feel on who do you think right now might be your guys to make the playoffs, or even let alone make the Super Bowl.
Well, I don't in the AFC. I don't see a lot changing there. Like I said, if I had my way, I'd send the Texans home. So I'm saying, but I don't see a lot changing there. You can't go against the Patriots. They're the Patriots. I mean, how are you really going to go against that until they literally get beat? The marquee matchup that we're looking at as far as the AFC is concerned is still going to be, if we're going to get to the Patriots versus Oakland. That's your AFC marquee matchup as a fan. That's the game that you're saying on the collision course you would want to see as far as your championship.
Definitely.
game.
I mean, a fan of the game, who wouldn't want to see Oakland possibly upset the Patriots? Because the Patriots already is the ideal team of going to the Super Bowl over everyone every year.
And like I said at the beginning of the season, we wanted to see the Patriots and the Steelers.
Yeah.
And it's funny because that was one of the most disappointing games this year, because that was a game that everybody circled on their calendar this year to see.
Yes.
It didn't materialize the way that we thought it was going to as fans.
Right.
But you're saying now, if Derek Carr can get healthy, I mean, they're a little bit more on the even keel, because I say the Patriots are the Patriots.
Yeah.
But you may end up seeing in that game, if that game happens, what Tom Brady is going to be like without Gronkowski. So I'm saying, so that makes it a little bit more of an even contest.
It does.
But it's a game that you definitely want to see.
Oh, yeah, and I actually can't wait to that. That's why I'm glad that the Oakland still is definitely in that slot, and they will work their way to them. I think that will be one of the ones in the AFC that's going to have the best views.
Yeah.
If that game is a matchup, because NFC usually takes a lot of the views off of their matchup games. Who are you feeling in the NFC?
Oh man, NFC is a lot tighter.
Yes.
Right now, like them or not, hate them or not, fan or not, Dallas is the number one team in the NFC. And the only thing that Dallas has as weakness is their defense. And I've said this all season long. Dallas wins games because, one, their offense has been unstoppable.
True.
However, in the playoffs, when it comes down to one stop, whatever else, what may end up being Dallas's Achilles heel is they may actually score too early. I mean, which means if they're in a close game in the playoffs, if you're saying, okay, there's 3 minutes left, Dallas just scored,
right?
Okay, their offense is now off the field. But now if they're up by less than 7, do you really want to put your playoff hopes on that Dallas defense?
No.
So that may be the
especially
thing
that secondary.
Yeah, that may be the thing that gets Dallas out of the playoffs. And like I said, you haven't seen that thus far this season because Dallas has opened up such a margin on most games. Yeah. That come to fourth quarter, they're up by 10, 12,
more than 7 points. Yeah.
Where the game isn't at risk coming to the
even
last
when they score a
minutes.
touchdown, they still win by a couple points. Yeah.
But now,
and that's
course,
right.
Yeah. But you're now saying, just like you were saying in the AFC, that you would probably be looking at the Patriots and Oakland as a marquee matchup. The world wants to see Dallas and Seattle matchup.
Yes.
That Dallas and Seattle, because now you look at what Dallas's weakness is, that defense. You look at what Seattle's actually strength beyond their defense is the fact that they have a healthy Russell Wilson. Okay. And in a close game, if Dallas scores, and you're saying, we're going to give Russell Wilson the ball back.
Right.
With 2 or 3 minutes left.
Right.
2 timeouts. It would be hard to go against that. I mean, that would be a thing that Dallas might have to go and pack their bags for the rest of the summer.
Yeah, I mean, going up against, Seattle just has this thing where if they make the playoffs,
Seattle fears no one.
You got to really go in lights out. I have nothing else to gain from this except for to win this game.
Seattle is built for the playoffs.
Yes.
I mean, it actually, for them, as long as they're in contention, it really doesn't matter what they do in the regular season.
That's true. That's a fact.
I mean, as long as they make the playoffs.
Yep.
But you got to think, as far as a team that you don't want to see with everything on the line, Seattle is the team that you don't want to see with everything on the line.
Yep.
And like I said, right now, they have a balance. I mean, in years past, Seattle has been so defensively great. The offense is kind of just been if they score 12 or whatever else, they can still win a game.
Yeah.
But I said, Russell Wilson has been playing great this season. Mm-hmm. I mean,
except for the game against the Bucks where he put that interception.
Yeah. And you also
but that's only one game,
Their the running back, Pro Saints.
Yes.
He's gonna be out down the stretch, so that's gonna hurt them somewhat. But I want to say that if it goes that way, I'd actually take Seattle over Dallas in that regard.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, I feel as though Dallas is going to get knocked out in first 2 weeks of the playoffs. However they start, even if they have a bye week, they're going to come in and them first 2 weeks, they might win one super hype, and they just going off of hype right now.
Yeah,
You know,
but
so
I'm telling you, the other team that they don't want to see come playoff time,
right.
it's going to be the Lions.
Yeah,
They
the
don't wanna
Lions,
see the Lions.
sneakily
They don't-
slid in there. Yeah,
The Lions that played all season coming from behind.
Yep.
And being able to
Catching
pull
back up,
games
yeah,
out
yeah.
coming from behind, which
Yeah.
of course that is a playoff hallmark.
That's
You know
true.
what I mean? If they stay close in the game, you might not want to see the Lions. I'm actually saying when Dallas plays the Lions, that may be the trap game for Dallas this season as far as the regular season is concerned. So the Lions are hard to deal with.
yeah, they are. I mean, for a team that I can't respect, they don't cover a point spread at all, but they can win a game. They can definitely slide in.
They're not used to playing from in front.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, they are a perennial come from behind team.
Definitely.
So, but like I said, come playoff time, I wouldn't want to see them.
Yeah, well, there y'all have it. Y'all have the games that we felt as though was much important. Make sure y'all definitely check them out. Comment with us on Instagram or Facebook, in our Facebook comment if y'all feel as though that we are hitting it right on the nail and how y'all feel. We gave y'all picks and everything. Big Mike, how did you feel about today? You like it?
Hey man, look, it's that time of year. It's
Definitely.
cold outside. The
Definitely.
games are great.
Definitely.
Playoffs are waiting.
Definitely.
What else could you ask for?
Yeah. Well, on the respect of G Nice, we definitely going to tune into these games right now and follow back up with y'all next week. Thank y'all very much for tuning in today on the Cul-de-sac Show, live on the Hottest Live.
You know.
In and out.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells,